Alright, today I'm going to show you all how to build a very simple bed frame for a 170-inch wheelbase 2022 Mercedes Sprinter van. Very easy. I did this with no experience beforehand. I had to buy some tools to do it, but very simple nonetheless. We also got Wiley here to make sure everything goes smoothly. So with that being said, let's get started. Figure out the size you want your bed, the width of your bed, and then cut some 2x4s to that size. So we chose to have a 53-inch bed, which is why we made two 2x4s of 53-inch sizes. You see those two holes, and you see those two holes is exactly where the 2x4s are going to be mounted. The end of the 2x4 is actually going to protrude out a little bit farther than these 2x4s, about to here. Drill two holes with a 1/4 drill bit on both sides of the 2x4. You'll see on this side, the two holes are almost flush with the end. But on this side, the two holes are about 1.5 to 2 inches away from the end of the 2x4. And that's because this side is going to this hole, but this 2x4 is protruding out to about here, which explains why it's not at the very end of the 2x4, and this one is. So if you look at this one, and you look at the other hole, the 2x4 is going to stop about right here. So it makes sense that those two holes are at the very end of the 2x4. After you drill the two holes, then go ahead and grout out those holes using a 3/4 spade bit. That way, when we put the bolts in to lock it to the van, those bolts aren't going to protrude outside of the 2x4. Next, make sure you measure exactly how high you want your bed to be standing off the ground. After my wife and I figured this out, we had one person hold the 2x4 exactly level and exactly the height that we wanted our bed to be, and the other person took a small drill bit, put it inside the hole, and made some scratch marks. That way, when we take the 2x4 off, we know exactly where we need to drill the holes into the van. Next, drill the holes in your van using a step bit. This made it really easy to drill perfectly round holes. As you can see, there's actually measurements for each step on this step drill bit, and we went to the 7/16 size, because that fit our 5/16 rib nuts perfectly. Here is a 5/16 rib nut. As you can see, there's actually threading inside of this rib nut. So what's going to happen is we're going to put these inside of these holes, clamp them down using a rib nut tool, and it'll create a new mounting point to put the 2x4s. After I use the rivet nut tool, you can see there's now new mounting points on our van in the holes that I drilled. So we have two right there, and two right there. And these are going to fit perfectly with our 5/16 bolts that are going to go through the 2x4s and mount onto the van right here. To mount the 2x4, I'm going to be using a 5/16 bolt, a 5/16 washer, and a 5/16 locking washer. You want to put the locking washer on top of the other washer. Next, we're going to attach these mounting brackets to the 2x4s, 3 on each side. I got these mounting brackets from Ikea, and you can actually call them and give them the part number, and they will send you some for free. At least that's what they did for me. Here is the configuration for installing the mounting bracket to the 2x4. For the outer screws, I used a T15 star bit 1 1/4 inch screw. In the middle, I put a 2.5 inch 1/4 hex bolt, although you could probably get away with a 2-inch hex bolt. And it is secured on the back by first a 1/4 flat washer, then a 1/4 locking washer, and then a 1/4 hex nut. Now that I have the mounting brackets installed, 3 on each side, I'm ready to put the cross beams on. These cross beams I also got from Ikea, and they're designed to work with these mounting brackets. These are telescopic, which means they can actually extend out to the exact length that you need. They're very easy to install. You can see there's a little lip there that's just going to mount right onto the mounting bracket. Okay, now that we got the mounting brackets and the cross beams installed, we're ready to go get the plywood. Our bed frame is 66 inches wide and 52 inches depth. So I decided to get 2 pieces of plywood, which is 33 inches wide and 52 inches deep, and they're both going to sit on top like this. I've seen a lot of people deal with molding issues with their mattress inside of their van. So this is why I'm going to use a hole saw to create a bunch of holes in the plywood for ventilation purposes and keep the mattress dry. Now that I've drilled all the holes, I'm going to give it a quick sanding to provide a smooth surface for the mattress to lay on. We do plan on painting it down the road to prevent water damage, but for now this will do. Now the bed frame is completely done, and now all we need to do is get a mattress for it.